There is a demon coming.
Knock, knock.
You're gonna absolutely love Winona Earp.
It's really hard to get done.
The show is crazy. I'm totally in.
You may not want to call me sister.
Yes, it's Sire.
I was not paying attention. I have to look. What are the class? I'm looking up the classes. I'm gonna be so good. I got some homework. Oh my God, what is this? I got homework. Hi everybody.
Hi guys. Hi.
Cheerios.
Hi.
Speak directly.
I'm speaking directly. Is this good, Carl?
How's this?
Yeah, Carl loves
this?
shit.
How's
yeah.
this?
Great.
No, not at all.
So this is the Bad Girls panel, but I've renamed it to the Strong-Willed Women Doing What They Need to Do to Survive.
Thank you. I agree.
It wasn't your fault. Your characters were dealt the cards they were. It was somebody else's idea.
Yeah.
So let's start off by talking about what you actually love about your characters. Not about playing them, but the characters themselves. Why do you love your characters?
Who wouldn't love Mercedes? She's so wild and so, like, I would love to, I couldn't spend more than a day with her, but I would love to spend, like, one day with her. She's so fun and fucking crazy, and I'm sure she'd get us arrested, you know, like, I love her. I love that she just doesn't give a fuck. She's who she is, and she's a cool broad.
I like how fuck ended up in that sentence. Because
Always.
it's like the epitome of
Bad girls.
of her.
Always.
Yeah.
I think I love Jolene because literally nobody else does.
Good answer. It's a good answer.
Imagine you were like, because Jolene's so pretty.
Yeah.
She's the prettiest
Oh
girl
wait,
I know.
it's me.
Stop it. Stop it.
Guys, it's the end of the day. Can
Yeah.
you tell? I love how there's like the vulnerability of her and then the badass side of her. So it's and yeah, she's just a cool, like you never know what you're gonna get.
Are you talking
Very
about
unexpected.
Mercedes again?
Yep.
Thought so.
Yeah. Totally.
Thank
Can I add the fuck in there?
Thank
You
you.
never know what you're gonna fucking get.
Yes.
I'm so tempted because it's the Bad Girls panel because we got instructions not to touch the mic. All I want to do is pick up the mic.
Me too.
Just kidding, guys. I'm not going to. They're not even listening. I love a bad girl. I love a bad bitch who gets it done. That's my favorite type of character, obviously. Have you guys met me? Oh my God, come on. I love all of them. I have sympathy for all these characters. Like, I like the sympathy in all these characters. Like, I think Rosita did something completely, was branded with something that was no fault of her own, and I think she was so sympathetic that she was gonna get shot by Winona and killed, and I thought it was such a moving moment when Winona was like, I'm gonna kill you last. Like, I just thought, like, given all that Rosita had done and accomplished for her, I really, like, had thought that was like a really rough moment for Winona. I feel like Rosita was kind of the hero in that moment, and you really felt for her. And like, I feel like you forget about Jolene, that like she was the opposite of Waverly, so she got all the muck. She got all the muck. No, she like was in the muck with all the shit, and like Waverly
Okay.
got all, right?
Muck.
The muck. Coated in muck. Like the stench off Jolene was just
muck.
no, but I mean like, I liked how crafty Jolene was, and like there was sort of like pleasure in watching her work and manipulate these people. I thought that was really fun, and like Mercedes is just like the ultimate survivor. Like there's just nothing that you can throw at her, or
Nothing.
anything you can
you
rip
hear
off,
that, Zoe?
or nothing you can fucking rip off her that she won't
Nothing.
just grow back again. Apparently, so I just like these women who just keep marching on and getting it done. Yeah, love them.
What's interesting is that Emily has all of those qualities.
Mostly muck.
Mostly
Mostly
muck.
muck.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Danny.
So Danny, Mercedes has a wild ride of the story arc. What version of Mercedes was the most difficult to play?
It's amazing she never got pregnant, isn't it? Like on the show? Amazing. Can you ask that question again? Because that's literally all I was thinking about when you were talking.
So you got to play Mercedes in so many different ways.
True.
Different iterations. What was the most challenging version of Mercedes that you had to play?
I mean, the widow for obvious reasons, just because of the physicality of her was difficult. But then playing like Mercedes 2.0, the drag queen version, was like very uncomfortable for me personally, because I don't dress like that. Clearly, I dress like a 85-year-old grandpa. And that is my comfort zone. So I found that to be challenging. I feel like it's a very vulnerable thing for me to try to play sexy. And
It's very difficult. You nailed it there.
I know. Have you, like,
You met yourself?
You're wearing
What
a
are you
silk,
talking about?
beautiful, something that you would sleep in.
Yeah,
And
but-
it's sexy
but-
on you.
thank you. But like pervy glasses and like
That's what makes
I
it
feel,
sexy.
You know,
Yeah, it's working. It's
wearing
working.
tight clothing and heels is not my jam. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
very uncomfortable for me, and I found that challenging, like personally, in a great way that I felt taught me good lessons, which I think is the best part of being an actor. It's like we get to step into all these different shoes and be like, oh, I have to look at this part of myself now, and I have to really examine it, or I'm going to do a shit job of this role. So even though it looks super fun and crazy, and there's like an internal thing that's actually happening where I'm like, I don't feel like woman enough. I don't feel beautiful enough. I don't feel sexy enough. I have to look at all those things. And then I have to go to set and do them in front of 100 people. So I think personally that was the most challenging.
You killed it.
Thanks.
You
Thanks.
did.
When did you realize you could throw absolutely anything at Danny and you absolutely killed it?
Oh, pretty early, I think. Pretty early on, like, honestly, and she was just so game. Like, I bet, like, it was hard, though. That's the truth. Like,
It wasn't only because I didn't know what was coming and because it came so fast.
Yeah,
Like,
you didn't have a chance.
I didn't have the too long, which was the saving grace in the end.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have too long to mull it over. It was
Yeah.
just like fucking, go,
Yeah.
brrrah, you know? It was awesome. Awesome.
I honestly think, like, I want to talk specifically about Danny, but I also think, like, one of the joys of ERP was that, again, that lightning in a bottle thing, where the cast was so strong that over and over again, you could push everybody and give them everything, and we all sort of fell in love, and it became so that I wanted to challenge them and give them things and give them a chance to play things, because hopefully the set felt safe enough that we would put them
It did.
in a situation where I would be like, okay, we're gonna do Portia control, but I promise you, you're gonna look awesome, and Mel's gonna make you look amazing, and it will be cut so beautifully, and like, hope it felt mutually safe, that I was like, I will never use anything that makes you look like a ding dong, unless you want to look like a ding dong.
Which I do. And to that point, like that set is filled with like, we're shooting in Calgary, and it's like manly men who are like ride horses, and there's cows, and like that is the culture of Calgary.
Oil rig workers. Former
Yeah.
Oil rig workers. yeah.
And like beautifully empathetic. Like that
Yeah.
crew was so like ready. Like there's a lot of slimy people in our industry, and not fucking one of them were on that set.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was just like for Danny specifically, just the like sheer like look, Earp is a show full of ballsy women. So for Danny to come on in the first episode and make Mercedes like the ballsiestest one was like astonishing. Do you know what I mean? Like her first scene, you're like, oh my God, like Winona's a little bit scared of her. Like I just like that was like, I was like, this actress really has something palatable, and you saw it when the fans fell in love with you too. So like I was like, yeah, there's nothing you can't give this character and this actress that she can't tackle, because also I believed that the character was just going to be like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. So yeah. So
You
very
wrote her.
early.
You wrote her in a way that let me do
No,
what
you
I
can do
wanted,
it.
which was
Yeah.
so good.
Mercedes, was the plan for her to stick around for as long as she did?
I mean, her face got ripped off. And then the audience was like, more. And I was like, I don't remember. Like, I honestly, I'm not being facetious. I honestly am like a shark swimming forward, where I don't look back on the choices, and like, I'm so glad she did. Do you know what I mean? I did think like once it became apparent that that Mercedes was the ultimate survivor, it made more and more sense that she would continue to surviving, that she would become a vampire, that she would be the one that survived. Like, it didn't actually seem out of character, I don't think so. Once she survived one thing and then another thing, you're like, she's gonna survive a nuclear war. Nothing's gonna bring her down. So I would say, yeah.
Speaking of survivors, I think Rosita is a survivor.
Yes.
I think we can all agree on that.
Almost right.
And in order to survive, you have to make decisions. So,
Decisions.
Tamara, when did you know
Yeah.
that Rosita was going to make the completely understandable and defensible decision to steal Winona's baby?
To kiss Waverly in a hot tub. No, wait, no, just kidding.
We don't talk about that.
But, like, did you know ahead of time? Did you read the script? Did Emily give you a heads up?
I mean, I didn't know that ahead of time at all. I didn't even know I was a revenant until I read the script. Yes, you know, like I didn't know I was a revenant when I auditioned, and I didn't know in the first episode, second episode, third episode, like until I read the script, and I was like, oh, so when I'm happy that I didn't know, because I maybe would have made different choices, and that would have affected. So I'm really actually
That's very
it
generous,
was I just kind of, it happened organically. So I'm really glad that I didn't know that, because I was like, is it Valdez? Is it like you at the beginning you just don't know. So to answer your question, I had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
And I just went with it, which was wonderful, because you're being thrown these curveballs, and you're like, okay, let's go. So, yeah.
And do you remember when you did read the script, were you by yourself, gasp audibly? Like, do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that moment. I was
Turn off
like,
my
what
phone."
the fuck? Yes, yeah, I know, right?
yeah.
Like, no. Yes, I specifically remember that moment. I think it's like the same moment that you guys all had in your living rooms or wherever you guys were watching it, but it's the gasp,
You
Yeah.
play that scene so beautifully, though. Like, honestly, I think that scene is incredible. Like, and it
Yeah.
also speaks to you. I think that, like, again, people fucking love Rosita, and she tried to steal a baby. Like, they love her, right? It speaks to how much we love Tamara. Like, I also think that, like, you know, you play that scene like you, like that she feels physically sick about it.
Yes.
Like, I honestly think the
Yeah.
look on your face, the way you played the scene was
Yeah.
masterful.
I
Honestly,
think that-
truly, I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Like good conflict, really good conflict.
Yeah. I think that to play a character, like you have to sympathize with why I'm doing the things I'm doing, or why the character is, and then do them. But I think anyone's capable of anything given a certain circumstance. You put someone in a corner, and people can say, I would never do that, like, no, but you don't know until you're in that position. And I think that's why everyone can relate, is because it is relatable. Like, if you're put in a position where you're capable of anything, any human being is capable of anything. So, and then obviously feeling bad that you have to do things like that, but you're just trying to survive. So, would you do it?
Last choice? Was your last choice?
Yeah, it was last choice. Yeah, so. Yeah.
And Emily, did you, when creating the character Rosita, was it in your mind that ultimately you needed to use her in this way?
Well, I'm not sure I knew that anyone was pregnant when I created the character of Rosita. But I was like, if I need someone to steal a baby. I did know Rosita was a revenant, because I did know that she had this history with Doc that I wanted to be really, and I wanted a sympathetic, gorgeous, smart revenant. I really wanted that in second season. And it was already your part, which I've told you before. Like, the character was named Tamara, and then we made people audition, which seemed so mean, because I was like, the character's name was Tamara Duarte, which seemed really kind of mean to put people through the ringer. But like, yeah, I like definitely knew it was yours. So yes, but the baby thing, not so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Zoe, this question is for you.
Hello.
Hello. So Jolene is arguably one of the scariest and fiercest opponents to come to Purgatory. And she appeared in season 4 much to the delight of purpose, because we got to see you again. You were wearing this amazing flannel, which everybody's really happy about. It was a good look. It was a good look for Jolene. So in that cabin scene with Waverly in season 4, there was there's a lot going on, but there was some tension, some underlying tension between Waverly and Jolene.
A touch.
Some might call it sexual tension. Am I the only one?
I'm glad you brought it up, actually, because it does come up, and I can speak to it.
Can you please speak to it?
Yeah.
Yay.
I think that, that I've been asked that question a lot with respect to that scene, and I don't think they're wrong, but here's how I saw that then and still see it, is that, have you ever had a puppy that you want to kill, or a baby that you want to squish? You know what I mean?
Because it's so cute.
Because it's so cute? Do you know?
Stay with me.
When I said anyone's capable of anything, I wasn't sure.
There is a baby here, so stay
I don't want to kill
away.
anyone's baby. I just think that when I think that, like, rage and love and all of those things are not that far. They connect, right? And if anyone's ever had made love, and then there's other types of love making. You know what I mean? I think I'm the least articulate I think I've ever been in my life. But what I'm trying to say is, I wanted her. I think Jolene wanted her almost, and I think she wanted to eat her and all of the things her. And I think in order, she was so jealous she was so jealous that it's that toxic relationship dynamic of, do you want to be with them, or do you want to be them? And that's how I approach that. So I don't think it's a mistake to see that. I think that absolutely was there. But it wasn't a beautiful love story type thing. It really was, Jolene wanted to consume her.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
So good.
Sort of come out on the day, on set, through the performances that you were both giving, or was that something that you and Dom had talked about beforehand? Was that just sort of happen?
No, no. So much of that kind of came in the moment, right? I mean, scenes like that, and hopefully most acting, if you can pull it off, that's kind of the dream, is that you do your work, and then you throw your work away, and then you come into the scene, and you're with your scene partner, and then you are just in the most beautiful, idealistic scenario, just sort of in a dance together. And so much of that just came out of both of us in the moment, which was lovely, because that's the hope when you're acting, always, I think.
And so you and Dom have your dance partners in two very intense scenes. So
Yeah.
in the season 3 scene in the greenhouse, and then again we see in season 4 in the cabin. And your performance in both of those scenes is fucking amazing.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
And as a viewer, you can see every fiber of you is Jolene. Which one of those two scenes had sort of took a bigger physical toll on
Oh,
you?
I don't know.
Question.
I don't know. We were both pretty depleted after both of them. Yeah. I think the difference was the first time neither of us knew what we were getting into.
Yeah.
So it was a really kind of almost frightening for us to experience it, because I don't think either of us had any real idea that we would go there. And then when we came back, it was frightening because we knew.
It's like having a baby when you have the first one and you're like, this is hard, but I don't know. And then you are like, do we do this again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was scary for different reasons. We knew going into the second time around, we both kind of looked at each other and went, you ready? You know, it was one of those.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun as an actor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the best.
Like hearing her even speaking like that, it's
It's the best.
gets
get
so
goosebumps.
excited. I
I
get
get
so
goosebumps.
excited.
Yeah. I get terrified. but in a
Turning
good
me
way.
on. I'm just
I get
Yeah.
sweaty.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps, yeah.
Hurry up and write another show, please, Emily.
Yeah. Okay. Done.
Done.
Good. Good.
And Emily, so on those first day of dailies after that season 3 scene, when you saw what you had with Jolene and Waverly, I mean, I can only imagine.
Oh, it was incredible. And like, I've known Zoe for a while now too. And like, first of all, like, it's such a joy when you meet someone as talented as Zoe and also is a good friend, and you have the opportunity to bring them. Thank you so much for coming to do the show. Like, honestly, it was such a joy though to bring her on for something so different though too. Like,
Yeah.
again, a chance to like showcase someone you know is so talented, like just a completely different character from Lauren. Like, think about Lauren on Lost Girl and then Jolene, right? Like, fairly different. I mean, both very good bakers. maybe.
Sure. I mean, really,
Yeah,
they did have that in
chemists.
common. Yeah.
So I was like, both things. I was like mortified at what I was seeing in the sense that like I knew how hard it was, but also like arrogantly so proud of them. Like, so incredibly proud. Like, you know what I mean? And you just see it. And then like to see two people you really respect who have not worked together before do something so beautiful together, like that's really moving, right? Like to watch Dom and Zoe trust each other and do this thing,
Yeah.
and know that the fans, like that was a scary one too, Jolene, because like obviously it has hopefully come to mean a lot to a lot of people. It is a metaphor for depression and anxiety, you know, personalized, but that's scary. That's a big responsibility, I think, to take that on, and it was a bit of a tightrope walk to make sure people understood and make sure it was respectful. Do you know what I mean? Like, hopefully. So both. It was grueling to watch, so I couldn't imagine what it had been to perform.
It was incredible. It was all of those things, but it was incredible for that very reason, you know? I mean, it's so rare as an actor that you get to do what so many of us got to do on Winona Earp,
It's a
right?
gift.
So,
It is.
you know, I think I speak for everybody in that respect. You know, it's a delight to get to go to those places, as challenging as they are, and I think every one of us signed up for this career for that reason, to be able